So yesterday I made this video, and honestly guys, I have to be straight up here and say that I took an L. Massive, huge even, so let me just jump straight to it. There was a half-assed argument I made in my video, a couple of them actually. It was completely ignorant, there's nothing around it. In Bim Bomb's video, IA was accused of being predatory for going to ping pong shows in Thailand and even getting grabbed up on by massage parlor workers. I made the egregious and stupid statement that those were possibly consenting adults with agency. However, that was a complete ignorance on my part. In reality, to make that as a blanket statement for what occurs in Thailand after doing some research is completely wrong. While it is a possibility that some of these people could be consenting adults, the likelihood in a place like Thailand, a place that is massively recognized for poor living conditions for impoverished individuals and extorted women, is far too high of a likelihood in comparison to more westernized countries to just, again, say that as a blanket statement. Another thing I need to clarify as well is that ping pong shows, while they are recognized as a tourist attraction, quote unquote, they are in fact illegal, and I was not aware of that. Big L on my part. Let's not pretend like that wasn't bad of me to do. It was just poor research on my part. My point now is to correct myself and put up some pushback, because honestly, there might actually be a little bit more here than what I initially conveyed in my video. After sleeping on it and gathering more information, I believe that Bim Bomb's video, while poorly framed and filled with logical reaches, there is something here that we can in fact gather and be critical of. Anarchist did go to Thailand, the country that is in fact labeled a Tier 2 under the US Department of State. In Bim Bomb's video, Bim Bomb claimed that Thailand was ranked number 2 out of 188 countries. That's not how this tier ranking works, as we can see going into the report, where they explain how the tiers work, with number 2 being countries that do not meet the Traffic Victims Protection Act standards. That's not to say Bim Bomb was wrong for pointing out the risk factors of going into Thailand, though. That's more to point out how this was a bit misframed. Regardless, it doesn't change a criticism that could have been verbalized a bit better in my opinion, as ironic as it is for me to say that in this video. Thailand is recognized as a country with rampant sex trafficking issues, even affecting underage individuals due to how much demand there is from other problematic variables like sex tourism. It's also important to note that due to issues like this, Australia does have laws to prevent those who would pose a risk overseas from further engaging in issues or exploitation such as child sex tourism, as published by the AFP. There's also variables to consider such as corruption, where sometimes government agencies don't actually interfere with human trafficking or prostitution in some cases, so there's also that to be concerned about, especially when you're visiting a country that is known for these types of issues. Not knowing this was admittedly a huge negligence on my part, which definitely made me less critical of IA, where criticism is very much due. IA going overseas and paying to go into ping pong shows which are illegal under obscenity legislations is actually something that I fail to understand the gravity of. There is a level of scrutiny to be given here. There are questions to be asked such as, hey, why were you here? What was your intent? Did you know what you were getting into? Etc. There is a wider conversation to be had here as well, such as a wider hypocrisy. Internet Anarchist does make videos going over internet degenerates, losers, and weirdos. IA himself also engaging in a level of deplorable behavior. I also want to point out some of IA's statements on Lyric's stream, where he claims that he wasn't in some of these places exclusively for sex tourism, such as visiting Rolling Loud, and that he had watched a ping pong show with his girlfriend at the time, which honestly I would like more clarity on, and a more accurate timeline of events. I have questions like, did you fund this knowingly? Were you just blindsided and hassled in? Was it your intention to participate in this form of entertainment? I don't want to harp on IA particular for the drug trafficking claims. I still stand by the idea that he wasn't harming anyone for having drugs for personal use, but I do want to point out that this still is reckless behavior and shows a level of negligence, like most of his behavior shown in this video. Overall, having been corrected and informed by people more knowledgeable on this than I am, I do want to make this video as a form of revision, as I see the situation expanding further now that there are more eyes on it, and there might be more details coming out. I foolishly did just want to take an easy slam dunk on that guy, not fully understanding that he might actually have a fair concern for IA's behavior overseas. Is that to say that IA is predatory or exploitative? No, but it is to say that perhaps IA was being a bit more reckless and gross than I initially conveyed in my video. This story may evolve, so until we get more information, I will simply just say that I messed up on this one, and I won't talk about it until all of my cards are in order. Quick update video. Sorry if it sounds like I'm downplaying what I said in my previous videos. So to be clear, I do fully take responsibility for some of the things I said ignorantly, such as some of these women being consenting adults, or some of these women going on to be hired at some of these facilities willingly. It really was just a clueless statement. That's all I got. Massive L. Later. Feel free to comment anything and discuss with me. Feel free to further correct me if need be.